Blessed afternoon, collective. Something wants to speak. I don't know what it is, but I just got this surge of energy, and this is what happens. I've been feeling sleepy, tired. I've been doing a lot of nothing all afternoon, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, comes the inspiration for this. What it is, I have no idea. I have no idea what's coming out. I can tell you that the masculine energy is anxious. It's anxious. And it feels like it wants to say something. I don't know. And I feel the need, the desire, the compulsion, the impulse. I feel inspired to be here with it, to be here for it. Try to just adjust that a little bit. And I'm going to pull a reading. And I want to jump straight into it pretty much. But there's a lot of emotion. It just wants to be witnessed. Ego is learning, right? It's learning. Ego, the mind, the masculine energy. It's learning the value and the appreciation of neutral, receptive witness, something like that. It's at first, it's something that is very uncomfortable to ego. It's very jarring because it is accustomed to the game of manipulation, the power dynamic of I behave this way and you respond that way, and we kind of feed each other. And so not to have a response, to have no response whatsoever, ego doesn't know how to handle that. At first, it gets angry. It gets upset. Because it's used to the manipulation. It's used to the push and the pull, the struggle. And so when one side is not struggling, when one side is just surrendered and open and receptive and allowing, ego fights back a little bit. It kicks up more of a storm. It is very much like a child throwing a tantrum, and when the parent or whoever is there doesn't respond, it is present, not ignoring. There's a big difference in that. Not ignoring. Paying attention, looking, witnessing, being there with it, sitting with it, listening, just not moving, not budging, not changing anything else, not seeking a change either. Non-responsive, non-reactive, present, aware, but neutral. And so naturally at first, ego, as the tantruming child, gets a little confused. It doesn't know how to respond to that. It is not accustomed to that open space where really it's invited to be itself. It is invited to kick up as big of a storm as it wants to kick up. It is invited to scream and cry and throw things and make a big mess, make a big hairy deal out of things. Ego is invited to do that. It is. It's allowed. It's absolutely allowed. And in fact, we can witness it with love. That's what I'm feeling right now in witnessing ego, whether it is the ego as personalized by myself or as witnessed within another or as felt as the collective. It's really not relevant. It's all ego. It's all the same thing. There is no mine and yours. It's all just ego, and witnessing it is always the same. Always the same. So that's the feeling of witnessing, and ego is starting to realize that it feels good. It has things it wants to say. It wants to air this out. Whether or not it understands that this is how energy moves, this is how we release trapped emotion, by actually feeling it, by letting it out into the open, by holding nothing back, it can sense it, because that's a thing that you know intuitively. Once you start letting yourself do that, you feel that it feels good. Once you start listening to that wisdom in the body and the soul, the feeling of expressing emotion openly is like no other. The truth will set you free. It always does. Feeling your feelings and speaking them out, expressing them outwardly, because that is a critical component. I firmly do believe that. Sharing them, not just honoring them in the self internally, but actually allowing some outward expression of it, putting it in front of people. That's why this is so powerful for me. That's a big part of what this practice is and how it started. Was I felt a need not just to process emotions alone, but to share them. There was something important about that. something extra, this additional step of really putting it into the light of the sun where it can be witnessed fully. That's important. And so, I suppose I've talked enough. Ego wants to express some emotion. Yeah. It's got something to say. It's feeling something. The feminine energy within the masculine is at an all-time high, I would say, right now. It's, everybody is feeling the feels. That's what it is, and it's important. They're here to be felt, and those feelings are to be expressed. What's underneath that? King of Swords. Yeah, it wants to be spoken. Wants to be heard. Wants to be witnessed. It's very direct. It just, again, the truth will set you free. Keeping this energy locked away, whether it is emotion or truth, or really they're tied together, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. And the key to feeling better again, which everybody wants to do and deserves to do, is to let it out. Look at that. I love this. I love it. I love tarot. What were we just talking about? Let it out into the sun. Let the sun shine upon it. Bring it out into the open, into clear, broad daylight where it is visible for all. Be naked. Be exposed. Discover, the power and the liberation of that. It cannot be described. It cannot be compared to. It needs to come out. Yeah. There's multiple things here. Okay. There is a very mysterious energy. I do get some of that kind of dark night of the soul coming from this, because there's been a lot of intense emotion trapped for a long time. The more we trap that emotion, the more we resist what is, the more suffering we generate and experience. But all of that suffering drives us to the release. It all works in our favor, ultimately. You can't escape the divine plan. It's all fucking working in our best benefit. Always. As much suffering as you create, it is always pushing us to the release of that suffering. And so suffering serves peace. Pretty amazing. We are gaining a new perspective. A new perspective on letting this stuff out. Realizing that when we let it out into the open, it looks different. We actually have this bit of distance between us, and we can turn it around. Realizing you can examine your own emotions when you are allowing them to flow freely, without resistance, without judgment, just holding that neutral space. The whole experience of it is different. You can examine things like pain and loneliness. You can examine depression. You can examine despair. And you notice, as you're doing so, that it takes on, look at that, it takes on a different quality. You see something else there. It hasn't changed. It hasn't been forced into anything different, but by your giving it the space to breathe, and by your open, honest, neutral witness of it, your acceptance of it, something shifts. It takes on a different hue. It takes on this other color, this other shape, and it starts to transmute before your very eyes. It starts to shift. And again, it's the magic of transmutation. The thing itself isn't changed. Depression doesn't just become joy, but it loses the density. It's changed within in such a way that it does become joyful. It becomes appreciated, but appreciated for exactly what it is. It's so hard to describe. What's on top? Queen of Pentacles. The feminine energy is balancing within the masculine, and this is something that the masculine energy is learning from feminine. Feminine energy understands transmutation. Feminine energy understands the importance of flowing emotion. Again, it's intuition. It's got an advantage. All right. Feminine energy is soul energy. It's emotion. It understands the importance of flowing itself. It doesn't get caught up in the same kind of traps that masculine does. It has its own journey of discovering self-worth and raising the internal masculine. energy to be self-reliant and self-satisfied, but it flows emotion freely. It doesn't hold this back. It understands the liberation of being absolutely radically vulnerable at all times, of just expressing your truths, flowing with the feeling, following the impulse, doing that, discovering the satisfaction of that. Masculine energy is learning from this. So what is this reading about? What am I doing here? What is it you want to say? What are we airing out here? How about that? I don't know. This feels like it's gonna maybe be a 3 card instead of a 6, which I am fine with. Okay. What the heck? The King of Swords just comes back. What? So the truth. They just switched places. Okay. Yeah, a truth that has long been withheld. Ooh. Ace of Pentacles. I mean, the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Cups. A powerfully emotional truth that's taken a lot of courage to look at differently. It's taken a lot of courage to look at this. It has. That is something to really feel the admiration for. Feminine energy, let yourself feel admiration for masculine energy's courage and willingness. And this applies internally. This applies to everybody. Let yourself feel proud of yourself for having the courage to face these emotional truths. Witness yourself with pride and honor and appreciation for your willingness to feel things like incredible pain, like grief, like despair, and to allow those things to flow fully. That takes courage, that takes strength. You should be proud of that. You absolutely should. I feel it right now. I'm proud of that. I am proud of witnessing that in the internal masculine energy of myself, in the masculine energy of you, in the energy of the collective. I am so proud of that. It's beautiful. All right, I'm cutting the cards. There's a lot of emotion. It's a lot of emotion because the feminine energy is up. It's up. It's strong. It is balancing with masculine, and the masculine is learning from this. It is a repeat message, and there is mutual adoration there. Can I just say that? This is how it is intended to be. Feminine appreciating masculine, masculine adoring feminine, both for what they are, both for being exactly as they are, both for taking their journey, for having their experience that no other can take for them, can do for them. That's really beautiful. All right. I still don't know exactly what's happening other than masculine is feeling things. Masculine is feeling things. The connection and what the connections have taught us, it's being seen clearly. We're understanding the importance and the empowerment of expressing emotions openly, of letting ourselves really feel things. Really, the liberation of that. The Nine of Pentacles just flew out. I love that. I love that. Letting it all hang out, letting it loose. Not just allowing it to the surface, but inviting it there. Yeah, come on, I'm not making this stuff up. Look at the beautiful color match we have here, too. It creates this newfound sense of security and stability. This is how, when we come back into the body, because so many people are disembodied, myself included, for such a long time, just not even living in this form. And when we're not comfortable inhabiting our own physical space, not only are we disconnected from the present, we're not grounded, but we're disconnected from our lower chakra system. The root chakra, the sacral chakra, and the solar plexus, all of the energy is reflected here. When we start to re-engage with emotion, when we start to flow that openly again, when we hold a safe space within ourselves, we become the safe space. We hold the space for self to express freely, to be freely, to feel freely, feel those emotions that are so scary. Those emotions that the mind, ego, masculine energy is so afraid of. And it's been pushing them away for so long because it was trying to keep us safe. It was trying to keep us feeling safe. Really, it was keeping those things stuck, and it was keeping us feeling threatened, right? But now we're realizing the key to feeling safe is holding that space within us, is reconnecting to the body, reintegrating, re-inhabiting, becoming real and really present in this moment, present with what is, especially what is within, especially these emotions, letting them be there, acknowledging that they're there, inviting them to be felt fully. No more bullshit. We're looking at them like it just split at the Hierophant. Yeah, we're looking at them. We're looking at the fear. We're looking at the things that fear has caused us to push away. The big thing that fear has caused us to push away is emotion itself. Fear of emotion. We're realizing it. Come on. The devil with the Hierophant right underneath. We are realizing we have the key. We have the key. We've been afraid of feeling emotions, and it's not working for us. It's keeping them stuck, and it's not satisfying. It doesn't feel good. All we got to do is have the strength and the courage and the bravery to sit down and say, you know what? Not this time. This time I'm not going to run from it. This time I feel the anxiety. I feel the tension. I feel the loneliness, the longing, the grief. And instead of fleeing into something else, instead of trying to escape into something else, I'm going to stay right here. I am going to hold a space for this emotion to flow, and I'm going to invite it to happen. I'm going to let it out. I'm going to let it be felt. And in doing that, you discover a newfound sense of strength and empowerment. I promise you. You realize how big, how expansive, how resilient you really are to let yourself experience a depth and intensity of emotion that you were afraid of previously, and you face that fear and you do it anyway, and you discover your infinite capacity. All right. Things are coming out. It's time. Because we know it feels good. We're discovering, masculine energy is discovering how good it feels, how empowering, how liberating it is to express emotions. Which position, connection position, mental position. 3 of Pentacles. We want to do this. We want to make this work. We want to work in tandem with the self, with the universe, with the feminine energy. I'm mostly talking about internal. That's usually my focus here, but energy is always connected and always in layers. This works at every level. We want to work together. We want to work together with emotion, especially. We are seeing, again, the power of feminine, the wisdom of feminine and masculine, and seeing that it wants to understand. It wants that freedom. It wants to find a new way. And it's trying. It's giving it a shot. Look, come on. In the 3D, it's all Empress. Everything is Empress. Everywhere I look, I see Empress. That's all it is. And I mean, that's truth too. Everything pretty much is feminine energy at the core. It's a balance. There's a, you know what, I'm not going to get into it. It doesn't matter. It's just everywhere we look, we see the feminine, and we want to be like that. We want to be that free flowing, that lighthouse, that beacon of emotional openness and vulnerability. flowing with the world, flowing with life, letting life happen, embracing everything, every circumstance, continuously embracing what is. We want that. What's in the soul? I mean, this whole reading backs itself up. It's everything already. We want that. What does masculine energy want? It's the Two of Cups. It's the Two of Cups, all right? It's the card of soul connections, soul contracts, soul mate connections, union, masculine, feminine energy. Again, the masculine is just gazing amorously at the feminine here, having such appreciation and respect for her, for what she has demonstrated. And it's vice versa too. It's mutual. That's how it feels. And when you allow this interplay of energies within yourself, and you can take on both roles, you can witness yourself, you can hold the feminine energy of the soul, and you can be the soul witnessing ego, witnessing the mind, the masculine, and you can feel genuine love and appreciation for it exactly as it is. Not judgment, not trying to kill it, not trying to root it out. It's not evil. It's beautiful. It is precious. It is literally divine. It is every bit God, as much as any other part of you. And when you are witnessing that and just beaming at ego being exactly as it is, having its journey, having its experience, feeling those emotions, feeling the fear, and you're just standing there loving it, that's when it feels that love. It starts to feel it. It starts to feel witnessed and seen and appreciated. Of course, at first it rejects this, and then it starts to understand that that's all it's ever wanted. It starts to understand how good that feels. It starts to naturally feel the appreciation arise within itself, because it always does feel good to be seen and accepted for what you are, with no judgment, with no agenda, with nothing added, no goal, someone, something, some energy, just standing there beaming at you, saying, I see you, and I am so grateful to see you, because you are beautiful, you are perfect, you are enchanting and enticing, and I just want to sit here and watch. Keep doing what you're doing. Just go about your business. Be yourself. I just want to take this all in. That's what Source is doing for us at all times. That's what the inner being, that's what the soul is doing for us. That is the energy that we align with and inhabit and see through when we are viewing within our own masculine, or without, when we are witnessing ego, when we are witnessing human, and just beaming at it with love and appreciation for it being exactly what it is. And then it starts to feel that. And again, naturally, as with all things that we do not seek to change, they change themselves. They begin to transform. They are uplifted by this energy of love and allowance and non-resistance flowing over them. They become transformed. All right, I'm gonna clarify, just to clarify, just to see if there's anything else here. This is really, it's just really beautiful. It just feels like a lot of love. It just feels like so much love and appreciation reflected back and forth. It's a lot of love. All right, clarification. 5 of Swords on top of the Sun. We've been trying to get out of this for a while. Again, for a long time, the victory was thought to be in the material. It was thought to be away from emotion, shut the emotion down. Emotion, illogical, hysterical, nonsensical. Leave that stuff out. As long as I have the money, the goods, the whatever material possessions, then That's where the joy is. And we're realizing that's not it. And we're also realizing intuitively, again, I don't feel like it's fully become conscious yet, but we're realizing how the repression of emotion, how the rejection of emotion has not only kept us in a state of unhappiness, but it's kept us from creating a life around us that is truly happy, that is truly soul-driven, because it's been an ego-driven creative process instead of letting the soul drive. And so it's all been more unhappiness. We've been pushing away the emotions, we've been denying the pain, we've been feeling unhappy and pretending we're not, and all we're creating is more unhappiness, whatever it looks like on the surface. Love wins the day. That's it. All you really need is love. That's the thing. It's the pinnacle. Ace of Pentacles. It is the top. It's everything. All you really need is love. And what is love? It's free. It's non-restrictive. It's that which knows no fear. It's absolutely fearless. And it's fearless because it's never trying to control. It's never trying to hold on to anything. It's never trying to force anything. It flows freely. It flows for its own satisfaction, its own selfish sake. The life that we have created by ego, which is control-based, which always perceives a threat, that life is controlling us. That life feels very small. It feels very restrictive. The key to happiness is non-attachment, is non-resistance, is flowing, is found by flowing your emotions, really, truly, letting them out, witnessing them. It becomes a key. It unlocks this door, the doorway to presence, where everything really is found. All of the joy, all of the peace, all of the happiness, it's all right there. But if you're shut down to the emotions, your emotions are a part of what is. Even if you're accepting, you think you're accepting everything that's happening around you, if you're not tuned into the internal state, if you're not acknowledging what's happening with your emotions, if you're not acknowledging that ego is having a response, that there is pain felt, there is anger, whatever it is, if you're not acknowledging that, you're not accepting all of what is. You're not seeing the whole picture. That has to be included, importantly. But when we include that, when we really sit with the internal world, the internal state, and we face it head on, we say, this is what is. I am feeling this. I am feeling pain. I am feeling sadness. And we invite that to come through and to flow. That's where the power is. That's where the juice is. That's where things start to really shift. And we discover this control by absolute allowance, the control of surrender. And when we have that, when we know how to surrender, when we practice surrender to the internal state, and we make it such a continuous practice that we remain in a state of surrender, and we've got it all. We've got it all. Then it does not matter what happens, and it doesn't matter what arises within you. You can see the beauty of it. You can allow it. All of that suffering can serve your peace. Oh, I'm starting to drop cards. Holy moly. Okay. Ace of Pentacles jumped out, by the way. Oh, I love tarot. I love the universe. This has been a long time coming. Why is the Three of Pentacles here? What is the environmental energy around Three of Pentacles, which is what we want this partnership with, what we're wanting to work with? It's just the Empress again. It's just, what did I say? It's all Empress. It's just Empress. All we see is Empress. It's just, there's nothing else. There is nothing else. Five of Pentacles on top. Oh. Look, the dichotomy. This is warm. It literally, can you see how these images kind of blend together? The color of the sky. Everything behind the Empress is this cold, wintry scene. And right up close here, everything is warm. It's lit. There's a fire. It's all Empress. All we want is Empress, and we're driven to it because it feels good, and nothing else feels good. Nothing else feels good. Again, suffering serves peace. You suffer enough, and you decide, this doesn't feel good. And I want to feel good. And I get to feel good. What does that mean? That means flowing the emotions. 8 of Swords with this 5 of Pentacles. Yeah. We have the choice. The choice is, and the choice, the thing that's being made clear to masculine energy is, I can't think my way into feeling good. I can't think my way out of this discomfort, this cold, this wintry sensation. But I'm getting the notion, because feminine energy is rising, I'm just getting this feeling. I just have this feeling that I gotta feel my way there. That's how it works. That there's something about just flowing the emotions, actually facing my emotions. I'm starting to get it without thinking about it. The feeling is coming up and it's become so strong. It's almost like it just happened. We had a situation where emotional overwhelm occurred and the brain was shut down. It couldn't take it. It couldn't deal with it. The feminine energy was so high. And so we just let that emotion happen. Instead of it getting trapped where it normally gets trapped, we let it out. We had this outburst, this outpouring, and then we realized, oh my God, that felt really good. Oh my God, how much emotion have I been trapping by not actually feeling? I'm not actually feeling my feelings. I haven't felt feelings like that in a long time. Is that what it's supposed to feel? Am I supposed to feel? Am I supposed to feel things that intensely? Is that a thing I'm capable of? I want more of that. I want to feel. I want to feel. It's good to feel. It's right to feel. Maybe I'm not supposed to think about this process. Maybe I'm supposed to just let it happen. Maybe I'm supposed to just feel things. Huh. Maybe that's a good idea. Maybe that's a key here. Maybe I put way too much thought and effort into all of this. And I could, like I just somehow suddenly did, just allow that emotion to come forth. Not try, not plan it, not think about it. Just let it out. If it's there, I don't stop it. And if it's not there, I don't go looking for it. I just let it happen. Masculine energy is learning how to let it happen. That's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. So tell me about the Empress here. I mean, it's all Empress. Everything that we're feeling and seeing, it's all Empress. It's gushing Empress energy. It is, the feminine is just, it's flowing. This is a volcano. It's oozing, it's exploding, it's juicy, it's delicious. Yeah, the emotion is flowing. Everything is Empress. It's coated in this Empress-like goo. 7 of Swords. I still just get that feeling that I did from the previous 7 of Swords, which was, we can't, which is right here, by the way. We can't look away. We can't look away from the Empress. We can't look away from these emotions. There's no running from them. They're there. We can't hide. We can't sneak away. There's a part that would like to, but I think we're seeing that also. I think we're seeing that part. I think we're recognizing, oh, I've been afraid of feeling. I've been trying to run from feelings. And what's the result of that been? Not so good. Doesn't feel so good. It hasn't been helping me. All I want is to feel good, and running from my feelings results in not feeling good. I'm starting to get it. I feel like that's here. I really feel like that's here. Yeah, I've been afraid of feeling. This can cut both ways. But I think we're seeing the fear. I think we're seeing how fear has not been serving us. How fear has been not just keeping us stuck in external situations, but internally. How the fear of facing our own emotions and letting them come out, letting them be expressed, letting them be felt, how that is keeping us stuck. And that we have the power right now to just stop doing that. We don't need anybody's permission. We don't need anything to change. We don't need anything to happen. Right now, we can decide, okay, I'm going to feel. I'm going to let myself feel. Whatever it is that I've been afraid to feel, and I've been letting that fear distract me and make me look away and talk me into another corner, and I'm just not going to listen to that. I'm going to see it, and I'm going to feel anyway. I'm going to do it anyway. Yeah, we're taking control of it. Taking control, discovering discovering the power. The word control is so tricky. Because usually, so unbalanced masculine energy, unbalanced emperor energy is that which tries to control by keeping this under wraps. It controls by force, right? It controls by resistance. It thinks that that is control. Whatever we try to control in that way controls us. We're discovering that the real quote unquote control is in surrender, right? Is in not controlling, is in letting go. If you're just flowing, nothing can stop you, nothing can touch you. If you're in a state of surrender, you're never fighting. You can't be contained. You can't be defeated. We're realizing that fear has been keeping us stuck. And we're making a different choice. We are realizing our power. The power of surrender. Alright, so tell me about the Two of Cups then. It's balanced. The soul is balancing. It's beautiful. And it was always supposed to be this way. I just get that sense of everything always is. Everything is the way that it's supposed to be. I mean, it's all happening just right. It is all happening just right. Alright, why is the Two of Cups here? Okay, I cannot flow the card. Yeah, I can't make this shit up. It's the world. It's all happening just right. This is the time. Now is the time. It's always been appointed. It has always been that here in the cycle we would reach this place where the masculine and feminine energy came to balance, and this came to light, this came to the surface, and everything that's happened has happened just the way that it was intended to. Every single second, every event lined up perfectly for this. And I pulled the Moon, but the King of Swords is underneath, with the Hermit underneath that. It's time for this to come to light. It can't be forced. It has to have a natural progression. Again, we cannot fight nature. We cannot fight the flow. There's nothing that exists that is outside of the flow. Each and every one of us is at our own perfect, correct place on the path. We can't force this expansion to happen. We can't force masculine energy to have these revelations and to understand the power of flowing emotions. We can only demonstrate for ourselves. We can only walk the path for ourselves. We can only have our own realizations and revelations, and then just stand in that knowledge and awareness, and included in that awareness, be very aware that it's happening just right for everybody else, that there is no rush, nothing is out of alignment. It's all in fact already done. Again, right, the world is not evolving It's already happened. We are the sinner and the saint at once. We have all already attained enlightenment, nirvana, Buddhahood, whatever you want to call it. Everything already is there. It's there. It exists. It is right now. And so whatever it looks like, it's just right. It's just right. This story is already written. The success is already assured. It's already happened. But we're on page 365. And it's right that we're on that page. We don't want to skip ahead. We want to read this whole story. We want to savor every single word. We want the journey. We want the experience. We want to forget so that we can remember. We want to be asleep so that we can awaken. That is this great journey that self is taking through each and every living creature again and again and again, and it's delighting in all of it, and all of it is on purpose, and all of it is perfect. What's on top? Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups. Feeling the feelings, feeling a lot of love, feeling very amorous, again, working with the soul. Why is the Knight of Cups here? Page of Pentacles. Because now we get it. Because now all of the groundwork had to be laid for the lesson to be understood. You can't skip ahead in the lessons. You need all of the components of the previous ones to understand each one moving forward. And sometimes we receive a lesson and it seems like, we missed it, we didn't learn it, but we didn't miss it. It's a part of a greater lesson, right? Nothing went wrong. There was no mistake. We didn't fail some test. That wasn't the test. That was a pop quiz that was helping us build and grow, because we're learning all of these things along the way. And then, maybe there's a deeper message within that lesson that comes back at a later time, kind of like foreshadowing in a book. But again, we didn't have the knowledge at that moment. That's why it's foreshadowing. We didn't have the knowledge yet. We weren't equipped. We weren't prepared. We weren't to that page yet. There was no way that we could know. But then, having received that peace, gone along, traveled down these other trails, and that peace comes back, now we see it. Now we see the importance of it. Now we get it in a way we never could have previously. We weren't ready for it before. It wasn't time. It wasn't the appointed moment. Everything has been preparing us for this. And the divine plan is flawless. And it is playing out exactly as intended for the liberation of all. I'm going to pull the final 3 cards. See if there's anything else here that the universe wants to mention, or that masculine energy wants to mention, or whatever it is. Anything else? Actually, I don't need 3 cards. We're just going to do a top card and a bottom card. That's it. Top card, bottom card crossing. Anything else? Because it feels complete. Feels like mission accomplished. Okay. Bottom card is the Devil, and the Hierophant is still underneath that. Lessons being learned, things being revealed. And it's leading to action. It's requiring bravery. All right, I am going to take 3 cards because I changed my mind. There's that Knight of Cups with the World. Again, that it is just a repeat message. Now is the time. Now is the appointed time. There's a lot of karma being resolved by the facing of this emotion. In particular, the things that we didn't want to look at, we're looking at them now. We're looking at them in a new light, and we're finding a new appreciation for them. And by our appreciation, by our choice to witness these emotions, to witness whatever is in this new light, this light of awareness and acceptance. Everything is transformed. We're realizing we have the power. We have everything we need. We got it all right here. Your key to feeling good and unlocking everything else, flowing with the energy, is facing emotion, is feeling what is, seeing what is, acknowledging and accepting that, but including in that your internal state. And when you can face those emotions and be very present with them and bring that true, open, engaged witness to yourself, to your whole self, you've got it all. You know how to alchemize. You experience transmutation directly by the practice of it. And that is knowledge that cannot be taken from you. That is knowledge that cannot be contradicted. It's not an opinion. It's actual. It's experienced. It's direct. When you have that actual experience, everything changes. You learn to trust yourself above everything else because you've discovered knowing. Knowing by gnosis, knowing by experience, knowing directly, knowing in a way that the mind cannot comprehend, but that the soul, that the essence of what you are, is absolutely certain of. We are reconnecting with the self. And that connection cannot be severed. It can only ever grow stronger. That's what's happening. And I am excited for it. This is the message. This resonates beautifully, powerfully with me, and I do intend that it resonates with you. If so, I would love to know how. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe if you feel so inclined. Just trust yourself. Yourself is to be trusted. Let yourself feel. Do yourself the honor of being present with your emotions, all of them, present with yourself, that neutral, lovingly engaged witness, and discover for yourself the empowerment, the satisfaction, and the liberation of that. All of these things are always, each and every moment, within your reach. Nobody and nothing can change that. Have a beautiful, transformative evening, my lovely collective. And know that always, and in all ways, through every vector of time and space, you are supported, you are adored, and I love you.